Hello, my name is Alex Mackenzie. I am a ukulele player from the north of Scotland, and this is the first of what I hope to be a series of videos where we explore how to play some fingerstyle ukulele solos. All of the videos in this series will be based on my own arrangements of some classic songs, and today's topic will be the verse of Let It Be by the Beatles. There will be a follow-up video for the chorus, and then a third and final video for the bridge. Now, I actually did a cover of this song a few months ago on a baritone ukulele. I'll put the link for that video in the description. If you would like to check it out, it would give you at least a rough idea as to where we're essentially looking to go with this. With it being on a baritone, however, that of course means that I did it on D, G, B, E tuning. But for the sake of this tutorial, I am doing it in G, C, E, A tuning, just to make it a bit more relatable to the kind of ukulele that you're likely going to be learning this on. Albeit I am using a low G rather than a high G in order to get some added depth. On a side note, I've also written out the tab for this song as well. You'll find that in the description. So, let's get into it. We start off with two single Cs. Those Cs are found in what you would call your pickup bar. Treat that as a miniature introduction. When we go into your first official bar, we want to throw an F chord into position with your left hand. And we want to keep that in place for the duration of the bar. That's going to be a theme the whole way through. Whenever we introduce a chord, it is really important that we keep it in place for the whole bar, unless of course it says otherwise. If you keep the chord in place for the whole bar, then it means that your harmony notes should always fit. So I've got my F chord in place. I'm going to pluck both my G and my C strings together. I'm going to let those ring out for one whole beat, and then every other note throughout now and the end of the bar is going to be played as half beats. So I'm going to hit my C string onto my G string, back onto my C string. I'm going to hammer onto a D with my left hand. I hit that note with my ring finger. You'll find a D on your C string 2nd fret. I go back onto my G string, and now I can remove the ring finger from the D and I can hit an open C again. So your first official bar will give you that there. On to bar 2, and we want to remove the F shaping now. You're going to hit your G and your C strings again, and again it's going to be played for one whole beat. And yet again we're going to hit everything else in the bar for only half beats each. You're going to go from your G string to your C string. Now with your left hand you're going to place your index finger onto an F, which is found on your E string 1st fret. You're then going to slide up to a G, which you will find on your E string 3rd fret. Then you're going to go back onto your G string and back onto your C string. One thing I am going to note, when you are coming to do your slide, it's really important that you give the first note its full value. You should hear that as opposed to that. So bar 2 should give you on to bar 3. We now want to place a D minor into position. We're going to do a slow drag for a strum on beat number 1, and what I mean by a slow drag is you're going to use your thumb for this. Rather than go straight down like that, you want to just give each string a bit more clarity. You're going to let that ring out for one whole beat again, and the rest of the notes in the bar are all going to be played as half beat notes. You're going to hit your C string into your E string. Now you're going to do another strum, but this time you're going to come down with the nail of your index finger. That one you can give a bit more of an attack to. We're going to go back onto your G string, back onto your C string, and we're going to finish the bar by placing the pinky with the left hand onto a G, which you will find on your E string 3rd fret. When we put all of that together, we will get and I'm just going to do that one just a touch slower. Moving on to bar 4, and what we're looking to do here, we want to keep the index finger in position. We want to keep the pinky in its position as well. We now want to take the middle finger down onto a D. You will find that on your C string 2nd fret. Now you've already got your ring finger there at the moment, but you want to now remove your ring finger and place that onto your G string 3rd fret. That will give you a low B flat. You want to open up the bar by plucking both of your middle strings. You're going to pluck that with your index finger and your middle finger with your right hand. You're then going to remove the pinky. You're going to do that as a pull off, which means you're only going to pluck that string the once. You're going to go straight onto your G string and then double pluck again. You want to hit that 2 middle strings. This time you're going to see that those notes are tied. You'll notice that it says in brackets that you've got your 1 and 2 again. All that means is that you're playing it the once. You don't need to play it twice. Play it the once, hang on to it for 1 whole beat. Then we're back onto the G string, back onto the C string, back onto the E string. You notice again I've done very little with my left hand other than just simply removing the pinky when I needed to. So that bar on its own, and you should really start to hear the piece take shape by the time you get to this stage. What you should have so far is moving into bar 5, we go back into an F chord. We want to just strum your top 3 strings. That will be your C, your E, and your A strings. Again, just strum that with your thumb. Immediately come back up with your index finger to pluck that A string again. You're going to go back onto that G string. And now here's a moment which some people might find a little bit tricky. So what I would do here is I would take my index finger, I would do a partial bar here, and I would bend it down to cover the first frets of both my E and my A string. That 2 notes there. Not everyone finds that comfortable to do. Obviously, if you've got issues like arthritis, for example, then that can be quite complicated. If you find it too difficult to do it that way, there are alternatives. You can either A, look into a different piece of fingering for that chord. So you see I've removed my middle finger from the G string 2nd fret and I've now replaced that with the ring finger. That now buys me the middle finger to hit the B flat. I can do it that way. Equally, I can swap the index and middle finger around if that's the way that you prefer. Or of course there is the final option of keeping your F shaping in place like that. And then when that moment comes, you can remove your index finger just to simply play the B flat on its own. If you go down that route, then ignore hitting 2 strings there and make sure you only hit the 1 string instead. But I would do it like that, and then the rest of the bar is just simply going through a full F chord. And we put the whole bar together and we should get onto bar 6, and we want to remove that F shaping. Again, you're going to start off by plucking 2 open strings. That will be your E and your A strings. Back onto your G string. You want to now place your ring finger onto a G. You will find that on your E string 3rd fret. Onto your C string again, back onto your G string, back onto your C string, onto an open A string. Now you want to swap out your ring finger for your pinky on that G. That's just going to help set up the next bar a little bit easier. So most of the strings there is going to be open. It's only twice that you need to play the G note itself. The first time you play it with the ring finger, the second time you play it with the pinky. Your whole bar together. Will give you that. Into bar 7, you're going to go back into the same shaping that you did in bar 4. And to be honest, most of the bar is essentially the same as what you did in bar 4. It's only the last 2 notes that are different. But you see I've got that same shaping in place again, still with the index finger down on the F and the pinky down on the G. We pluck that 2 middle strings together. You're still going to pull off with your pinky to reveal the F and fret number 1. Back onto your G string from there. Hit your 2 middle strings again and again. They're being played for 1 whole beat, just like they were in bar 4. And it's only at the very end where things get different. So in bar 4 we had your G string, C string, and then your E string. However, in bar 7 we're still hitting the G string, but then we want to remove the D with your middle finger on your left hand. So just hit an open C at this point, and now you go back onto the G string again, like so. So this time we're doing and then bar 8, we want to go back into an F chord now. You're going to play your G string for 1 whole beat, followed up with a half beat on your G string again, and then your open C for a half beat as well. And then we want to hit a full F chord. We're just going to strum that back onto your G string again, and back onto your E string again. That last 2 notes have both been played as half beats. So that bar on its own will give us and that, for the most part, is essentially what your verse is. What you have so far So the next 8 bars is much about such the same. There is only a handful of differences. We're not going to discuss all of them, but I am going to discuss a couple of them. The first bar I want to have a quick look at is bar 11. We're doing the same concept as what we're doing in bar 3, but it does go off course by the end of the bar, and it's going to run into the following bar as well. So what we did in bar 3 was that. What we're doing in bar 11, at the start we're doing the same thing. We're still doing a slow drag across that full chord with the D minor still. Play that for 1 whole beat just like we did before. Back onto your C string, back onto your E string. Full strum down with the nail of the index finger just like we did the first time round. This time, however, once we've done that strum, we want to now place the pinky with the left hand onto a G. You will find that on your E string 3rd fret again. You're going to play that for a half beat, and then you want to release that and pluck a single F. You should still have your index finger placed on that note. You're going to let that F ring out for 1 whole beat, and the difference that will give you, what we did the first time round, and then that allowed us to set up. This time round, however, we're now doing, and that's going to allow us to set up. So what I'm doing in bar 12, I've got that same beginning to my B flat shape, still with the index finger on the F, middle finger on D, ring finger on the low B flat, but now I want to stretch out with my pinky onto fret 5 of your A string. That's going to give us a high D. I'm doing a full strum there. If you find that to be too awkward, then there are alternatives to that as well. For starters, you can bar this up in fret 5, like so. Bar fret 5, middle finger on your E string 6th fret, ring finger on your G string 7th fret. If you're not a fan of barring either, then you can get away with just simply removing something here with your left hand to make it a bit more comfortable. If you go down that route, again, you just need to be careful, make sure you're not going to connect with that string with your right hand, because we will have the incorrect accompanying note. But for the way I play it, got your strum here with your index on the E string 1st fret, middle finger on your C string 2nd fret, ring finger on your G string 3rd fret, and then your pinky on your A string 5th fret. Full strum across all of that. Back onto your G string, pinky down onto the C, remove the pinky now, keeping everything else in place, strum across your C, E and A strings, pinky down onto the G, your E string 3rd fret, remove the pinky one final time, and you've now got your F in position to C off the bar. So that bar on its own, and with the bar beforehand, and one final bar that we will just have a quick look at is bar 16. So when we play the same bar in bar 8, we're leading it back into the verse, whereas in bar 16 we are leading it into the chorus. So what we did in bar 8 was that. What we're now going to do in bar 16, start off the exact same way, hit that low G string again with your F chord still in place with your left hand. So that G string on its own, your G string into your C string, both of those two notes being played as half beats. And now we want to just simply remove all of it. You can play all of these as open strings. Now we want to take the ring finger down on your E string 3rd fret, onto your G string, onto your C string. So the changes that gives you, I'm only going to take this from bar 9. So that now gives you and you can really hear the beginnings to that chorus coming through at the end. And that concludes video number 1. In this video you have learned how to play the verse for Let It Be by the Beatles. In video number 2 we are going to have a look at how to play the chorus. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial video, and I hope that you've got something worthwhile from it as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them into the comments section and I will happily get back to you. In the meantime, I'm going to give you a taster of how the chorus is going to go for the next video. I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for watching.